Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the show. And this is us. And today we're discussing, uh, we'll call it the part two of what we were discussing last week, COVID travel bans, whether the West is biased towards placing some African nations on the red lists. But before we go, just to advise that tonight is the last episode. Is the episode? Yeah, episode of season
It is.
two. So it's called the finale, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Thank you so
correct.
much for coming with us throughout the whole episode, and I hope that you've all been enjoying this. Thank you very much. So please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share as much as you can. You can share on Twitter. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and share that link as well. You can do the same on Instagram. You follow our page on Instagram as well. Okay, a lot has happened since last week. And if you remember last week, if you joined us last week, it was myself, Sandra, and Nana who were on the panel, and the three of us are back again. So we'll call this one the part two of what we were discussing last week. A lot has happened between that period and today. Nigeria has gone for a tit for tat response, so to speak. Some say it's a knee-jerk response. Britain, when sort of a mood tonight, because we're anticipating what Boris, our Prime Minister, was going to tell us tonight, 8 o'clock. We were expecting him to send us into a lockdown again. But some of the snippets of the news coming out is saying we need to get boosted. It says it's asking the boots on ground. So army is asked the army to come out and support that program. So we are gonna get boosted. He's saying from 18-year-old will be offered the booster before New Year. I've had my test for the booster thingy last week, but I ain't no rush, mate. That's my own personal reasons. I'm not rushing because I'm not. My head is not even there right now. I'm trying to make ends meet. So a lot is going on, and I hope the Prime Minister understands if I'm not responding to his call to go get boosted so soon. Okay, now
Some
open to the
companies,
floor for come again.
some companies are now saying that candidates have to get vaccinated before they even get a job.
Amazing. Where is people power in all of this? Can people just say, you know what, we're not getting boosted, go with your jobs?
I mean, you
Would that
can,
work?
but I think, I mean, you can, but then I think the bottom line is people need jobs, don't they? So I think if you work within the health industry, I think it's very difficult. I think at some point it's going to be, it's going to be mandatory. I think they have set a date for people. Yeah. So I think in certain industries, yeah, most definitely. Well, perhaps if you're in certain, like my industry, whereby you have the ability to work from home,
then it's not right.
Not so much. Although one thing I will say is that my employer is asking the employees to let them know they've been vaccinated or not. And like if you get COVID, you also have to report it to HR, but it's all at your discretion. So, but okay. I don't know what I don't know what they're doing with the data. I mean, I haven't done it, but I know they're doing that. They do ask people because I'm like, why do you need that data? It's just a bit.
Okay.
Maybe they're putting it to somewhere.
Yeah, they might have a national database that all feeds back to. Maybe they feed it back to public health. I'm pretty sure public health leads on all of this collection of data. So tit for tat response from Nigeria, is that what we should call it, or a knee-jerk response?
To be honest, do you know what? I was actually talking to my friend, and she was like, "What's Nigeria doing?" She's like, "No,
gang."
So she felt like they didn't have the maybe the political power to do that. She thinks it's a mistake.
In what sense? Like, can you expand on that? Yeah, go on. That's a good one.
Yeah, because she was like, who is it going to affect? She thinks it's going to affect Nigeria more, putting the UK, Canada, and Saudi Arabia on the red list. She thinks the impact of it is going to be more detrimental to the Nigerian government.
Yes.
than it will be the other way around. Because, and I say this all the time, and when I was reading, when I read the article today, it was almost as if like, are they banning flights or they're putting them on a red list whereby when you land you have to quarantine? Because it looked like they were from what I was reading, it seemed like they were like suggesting that they were banning flights. And as much as yes, Nigeria is on a red list, they haven't banned flights from Nigeria.
No.
They're just asking you that, well, if you're not a UK resident, then they're not giving out any new visas and you can't travel in. But if you do travel in, you're required to stay quarantined in a hotel.
Go on. Sorry.
So I don't know the extent of this ban that Nigeria is thinking of implementing.
I think we should just end the show here because you've kind of just, in a nutshell, summarized everything. I think we should just call it a day and we would have had a good show. Trust me, we would have had a great show if we just said, let's go, bye viewers, see you next year. We would have had a great show because you touched on, you identified so many things there, and I think it's in line with the way I was thinking about it. I read the articles, I've heard some of the snippets here and there with the same vigor that Nigerians were blaming UK for being biased and carrying out apartheid, blah, 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 with regards to the whole red list. It's the same vigor and spirit. Again, they're pushing this news. So I took time out to read it. And it all read like they were banning flights from Saudi, UK, Arabia, and Canada. And my first take was, hang on, Mr. President, and your, whatever they're called, what are they called? They're not called psychophants, they're called political advisors. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So paid political advisors. I thought, what are you guys doing? Because let me spell it out. Canadians don't go Nigeria for holiday. I'm talking white Canadians. White British don't go Nigeria for holiday. Saudi Arabians, the real Saudis, they don't go Nigeria for holiday. People from UAE, they don't go Nigeria for holiday. I don't see no German saying, Nigeria, we're coming. Nigeria is not on the favorite list of people from the Western world for holidays. We're not talking Jamaica or Barbados here. We're talking Nigeria. So indirectly and directly, they don't know. They're doing a big disservice, not to the Nigerian government, because Nigerian government, trust me, if a tornado happens today in Nigeria, the Nigerian government will not suffer anything. It will be the man and the woman on the street and the child on the street. Now, this whole ban of this blah, blah, blah from these countries, they don't know they're doing a big disservice to their own people because it's only Nigerians who are Canadians by dual nationality and Nigerians who live in the UK and Nigerians who live in Saudi are the ones coming back. All of those BA flights that are so many, those British Airways flights that are so many flying into the country like bees swarming honey, they're all Nigerians. So this man has done big disservice, even worse than what the Boris Johnson government did. That was my opinion when I read it. But then again, I said, hey, in the political arena, if they wanted to make a statement, they've made their statement. Maybe this will bring Boris Johnson to the table. But I don't think Boris and his government will care about that.
I don't think they thought this through, did they?
No, they didn't. I don't think so.
But I don't know. But I did actually read this week, earlier in the week, I think it was a Telegraph that reported, because there's been quite a lot of people have come out to speak against like the red list, because what they were arguing is that at the moment there's a lot of like community-based transmissions with Omicron. So they were arguing that like travel bans are not effective once once COVID is being transmitted within your country, because travel bans don't stop it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, and I think the health secretary, is it Sajid Javid? I believe that's its name.
Yeah. Sajid Javid.
Javid. Yeah. In that Telegraph article, he did say that they're looking to like review it, and they're hoping that they can get rid of the red list as soon as possible. So I was hopeful that maybe by the 20th of December, which is when the next review is, that the red list will be gone.
Don't forget something. Sajid Javid is a human like me and you, and we all take pressure differently. We can all buckle and knuckle under pressure. Sajid Javid is just a man, whether he carries the title of Secretary for State for Health, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean he has, he was only recently the Chancellor of Exchequer. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's got any background in health. This is our political positions, because he's got an army of advisors behind him who does all the work, the so-called quangos. So the point I'm trying to make, he was talking in that article, he might have come under pressure and said, anyway, they were going to review it. But another thing is, whether as the article said, whether the Omicron is already in the community and whether you ban the flights won't affect it, don't forget, it's all about numbers. So
Yeah.
if 15 Nigerians got into the UK today and they all tested positive for that variant, it won't be on the list of Nigerians in the Nigerian country saying, "Oh, Nigeria's just detected this." It will be on our record.
Yeah, it will be on the
You see where I'm
UK.
coming from?
Okay.
So I guess,
Yes, and I do understand.
yeah, I guess you should argue from that point that the British government will be like, you just deal with your 50. They don't bring them here to add to our numbers. You see where I'm coming from? Because it adds pressure to everything, to health, to NHS, to the systems, to the whole efforts to curb the diseases anyway. You know, but even the Archbishop got involved. Archbishop said he thought it was political. I read his article as well. I thought, Archbishop, you just danced into the gallery. Because at the end of the day, Archbishop said something. It said along the lines that you've just said. But what he forgot to mention was the reason that Nigeria was added to the red list was not just because of Nigeria alone. It was because of another link to South Africa. South Africa, the flights from Johannesburg, the busiest is the one going to Nigeria.
Yeah.
And who are these people? They're Nigerians. So there is that link, and no one is talking about that other link.
Yeah.
Do you know? I didn't know that link, by the way, Jude.
I read about that.
I didn't know that.
There was this article I read, and I saw that link. Although the article didn't obviously capture the link, but when I read it, I realized. So I think the article was talking about how scientists they did not advocate surrender because they were not really up on the latest debates as of then, and obviously this was because South Africa remains divided between, how they put it, say divided between insiders and outsiders. Okay. And they're saying something about that the media and the scientists, they see the world through the insider lens.
Okay.
And then and what when I read that, I just felt like the pandemic literally disturbed the view, which divides the planet into, like, they have the first and the third worlds, yeah. So in how they described in the article is like you have the first world, which is more like an island of competence and health. That's in I'll say in a sea. In a sea of third world sickness and savagery. So basically, this basically just means that the countries which did the least to protect people were in the first world, not in the third world. Does that make sense? So it's just crazy, like, because when they say, the article said, when the scientists say no country had avoided a severe epidemic, they actually meant that no country that they noticed, which is
yes, I see what you mean.
Country. Yeah, it was just crazy. And then link that to like South Africa, Nigeria, and the way they just put Nigeria into the list.
I guess what you're trying to say in that article, or what the article was trying to say, is from their lens, they're talking about the first world. They're not talking about the third world.
They're not.
Yeah, exactly. I see.
Because they believe officers. I
think we don't even have data. So I mean, I don't. We don't have data.
There's no data for that. So, but they're saying, they said South Africa was doomed to suffer, blah blah blah. But I feel it's safe to say that they assume that the third world majority, will be too ignorant to protect themselves. And
definitely.
And that and that only first world, medication would work, but then that the country didn't have enough to provide to every other country. It's
but I think that narrative is still very true, because I think even with the way they reacted to the Omicron variant, there is this, like, not the West do have this sort of belief that, oh my God, not an African variant, like it's about to basically run rampant, and it didn't. And then once again, like their numbers are like for Omicron are just going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if, like, it's basically the same reactions that we had when COVID first started. Really.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like the article that was it the German article that had the little Africans and it's like
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's like the African
virus. That's what it said.
Yeah.
Right? I
mean the cheek of it all.
The cheeky bastards.
No, but you know, of course, but you do understand in the West, because of the freedom of speech, freedom of all of that expression, you do understand that paper definitely did not represent the views of the German government, though.
No, it didn't.
Okay. Oh no,
okay.
Of course.
Okay.
No. But
I'm not advocating for that, but it does represent a section of the community, though.
Of course. I mean, because do you know how many, like, I always say this, and this is something that I'm never ever going to stop saying. Do you know how many, like, hurdles and how many people have to approve an article before it gets printed?
It's a lot, yeah.
Like all that, so it went through all those checks, and nobody sat back and thought, "Oh my God, perhaps this isn't the right thing to do."
But why would they do that? They're in the business to cause that big panic, moral panic, draw people attention, and sell papers. They're not there to just feed you gossip. They're there to sell papers. It's about ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
I get that, but still, sometimes I'm like, are you actually being serious? This went through all these checks, and it passed. It must have gone through a lot of people's tables, and it passed all these checks, and you printed this, and then of course they get the backlash online, and then they all issue an apology.
But it's a way of life. Let me ask you two a question linking to that. In your line of work, I know we do have chain of commands like line manager, supervisor, manager, director, chief executive, but still, you use your own agency and you own your own work. Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
And so, at some extent, when you go up the chain and they're saying, "Hang on, Sandra, we need to look at it this way," "Hang on, Nana, we need to look at it this way," you're holding your ground. You're saying, "No, this is my own. This is my thing. We're holding on." So these people do have sometimes the editor say, "Nah, that ain't going." You're like, "This is my work. I'm doing it." Or are you trying to say there's no freedom of speech? Don't forget about the one that they did about Allah or Muhammad that almost burnt Europe. The whole paper, the whole newspaper or whatever magazine knew what was coming, but they allowed it to go because the basic foundation of the Western world now is freedom of expression and freedom to speak freely. So it's the base.
They are taking the piss.
Exactly. You do take. They do take the piece, so to speak, but that is why they do that. And journalists from Africa can do that as well. They can do. They're free to do that, except to accuse their own government. They're not free to accuse their own government, but they could write anything by anybody if they wanted to, except accuse a sitting government or powerful people. They don't. Yeah.
I don't see them doing that. I think the only time. I mean, this is quite recent. The only time I probably saw quite a few people come out and condemn. So this has happened this week, right? I'm just giving you guys a bit of background because I'm so active on Twitter. So this is what happened this week on Twitter. On the 9th of December, Ghana announced that only vaccinated travelers are allowed into the country from midnight of 12th of December. And of course, Ghana, December time, huge holiday destination for a lot of African diasporans from different countries, actually, not just Ghanaians.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not vaccinated, funnily enough. I didn't know that. I didn't know that such a huge percentage of young African diasporans are not vaccinated. So like about 500 of them, a lot of them were British diasporans, set up a room. You could set up spaces on Twitter, and they were talking about how they were going to procure fake COVID vaccination passports to travel into Ghana and I was so disappointed and so shocked. I was disappointed and shocked because I was like, are you guys actually being serious? I was in Ghana last year and I remember what happened with the effects of so many people flying into Ghana during December and people flouting COVID rules. And then like the aftermath of it all, the ICUs were full in Ghana. Like literally the cases went crazy and the health system was overwhelmed. And the bottom line is that the health system and in a lot of the countries in Africa do not have the infrastructure. So I remember sitting there and thinking, a bunch of young Africans, right, in the diasporans, you came on the internet to basically, one, you're you're making it very obvious that you're about to break the law. Who goes on the internet to announce that they're about to break
I'm
the
very
law?
happy. I'm very happy that you brought this on. I'm very, 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 very happy because in Nigeria,
so disappointed.
Yeah, go
and
on.
this was I honestly, I loved it because the Ghanaians that were actually on ground, they came into that
Challenge them.
created, and they were like, are you guys actually being serious? If you're not vaccinated, don't come. And they're like, why are so many of you not vaccinated anyway? Because they honestly asked the question. They were like, your UK health system is literally begging you guys to be vaccinated. So all of you are not vaccinated, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, people that were so skeptical about being vaccinated because they couldn't go and do Dirty December, they were like, oh, can we get a jab, our 2 jabs in one day so we can fly to Ghana? I was like, you people are everybody that day. Mad. That's exactly what I tweeted. I was like, all of you are mad.
Yeah, mad.
I'm happy that you brought this up. You see, following the NSAS protest in Nigeria, a lot of people were saying youth must have power. Youth, blah blah. They invited me and added me to so many groups. And one line I kept telling them. One line I kept telling. I said, look at your youth of today.
Your youth.
They are the murderers, the killers, the Yahoo boys. Is this the ones you want to lead you? And they're still the ones asking to do fake. Look, the fake vaccine certificates. They're not getting off the internet. They're getting it in this country, UK.
Yeah.
I don't know where to get it from, but I've had discussions and I've challenged them. And this on the ground that the challenger was this. And you touched on it now. And I said, look, our African countries are already suffering because we don't have infrastructure. I said, please consider that you might be taking your variant or whatever you have in the UK to that country and destroy everybody.
And make things worse.
And those people regretted why they ever had that conversation around me. They just, and I thought, I shouldn't have had that discussion with them, let them continue to spill and see what I could do about it. But this is the mindset of people. I asked a question, why would you even think about it? So if people who were obviously born in the UK of African descent are they going to get fake vaccine certificates? Now, how do you want the British government to trust the data coming out from Nigeria?
And honestly, this is what, and honestly, I remember sitting back and I'm like, you're getting fake vaccination records to go and party, not even to go and do something sensible, to go and party.
To go with Burna Boy and Davido and whatever.
Shouldn't there be like a machine that can detect that these things are fake?
But here's the thing.
They can. Okay. If you fall sick later, they find out, they can't find that in the hospital.
So you have you have to fall sick there because you can just go past the barrier or whatever with your fake passport.
Yeah.
And because I don't know
how they're going to detect it. I honestly do not know. But one thing I will say, which is I honestly don't know how they'll detect it. But I was so disappointed. I was honestly so disappointed. I was like, are you guys being for real?
I think at some point they would notice that they're now.
They might not. If you have rogue GPs and rogue centers where they're meant to give vaccines, if you have those rogue centers and they can actually take those vials and destroy them and sign that batch number to you and sell out the certificates. I don't think they will find out ever until, look, don't get me wrong, corruption is everywhere in Britain. In Germany recently, a man just killed himself, his wife and children because him and his wife, I don't know if they're white or black, but the Germans, they did the fake vaccine as well, fake COVID vaccines. The wife, I think, is a teacher. He is a teacher as well. But the school found out and they were going to report to the authorities. And he panicked and thought, me and my wife will be arrested. The kids will be thrown away. My kids will be gone forever. So he killed everybody. He killed himself, the wife. So corruption, the vaccine corruption is happening everywhere. It's just on a different scale. But the difference I'm seeing here with what Nana mentioned was we tend to portray or exhibit the worst of us. We tend to want to portray that as what it is. It's the worst of us we're bringing out. Meanwhile, in countries like this, the worst of us are punished.
Yeah.
So you see, to tell me how a government like this will want to work with a government like that, where majority of them are looking at getting fake vaccine certificates. That's a big problem. Yeah.
Honestly, I was so disappointed. I couldn't even put into words how disappointed I was. I was like, you guys are actually.
Is there some way you can some platform you can report these people?
Honestly, they were all there on Twitter. It was like a space. There was too many. Honestly, Sandra, there was too many people. Too many. When I told you initially, when I went into the room initially, there was 500 and something plus.
Oh my gosh!
By the end of the night, there was over 1,000.
Oh boy!
And I was like, and people were comfortable coming up, bearing in mind that there's over 1,000 people comfortable enough coming up to say that, yeah, they're going to, because they spend grands. And I'm like, and they said the Ghanaian government should have given them more notice. And I'm like, you had the whole year to get the vaccine. What are you talking about?
I think I like the Ghanaian government's approach because, again, it goes back to the infrastructure and everything Nana was talking about. Imagine the sort of tragedy we experienced, or how do you call it? What we experienced in the NHS last year at the height of COVID. Imagine that hits Ghana or Nigeria. My days, we'll be picking up dead bodies everywhere.
Oh no,
exactly.
Facility at all to handle
exactly. That. So that's from the angle I look at things. Like, I don't want to jeopardize Nigeria's effort. I don't want to put Nigeria in danger. If I have not taken the vaccine, I need to be up and through with it. If they've asked me to go do my test to travel, I need to do it genuinely. So I go into that country well and come back well. So I don't start spreading things, because I keep telling Nigerians, this thing is real. Forget those your knucklehead pastors who were telling us it had to do with 5G masks and God told them that.
I heard that.
It was just pathetic. Those people, my problem with them was it led so many people astray.
Yeah.
And even my late brother, may so rest in peace, who passed in May, he was like 99% led through that path not to trust the vaccine and not to believe in COVID because of Pastor Chris Oyakhilome. He was a member of his church in Italy. He was a big boy in his church. I had to physically drag him out of that church and say, run, don't be listening to people like this. Chris has got a demented head. He don't know what he's talking about. He's too old for all of this nonsense.
Fair, I agree with you. I remember getting into it, like, of course, like my dad and I do have a discourse. And whilst I was out in Ghana, I think he told me, because I was out in Ghana for quite a long while, like just over 3 months. And my dad was like, oh, you should find a church to go to. And he sent me like the churches like in the area that I was staying in, and Pastor Chris's church was on the list. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm not going to that church. He was like, why not? And I'm like, I don't agree with his views. Like, I don't, and that is one thing I'm always going to stand by. I am not going to any man of God's church when I know that you're spewing complete and utter stupidity.
Yes.
I am not going to sit under your feet. Because I'm sorry, yeah, for some people, they'll sit there and try and explain it and be like, oh, you know, but like, okay, they have weaknesses. And I'm like, no, not when you're sitting here and some of the things that you're saying just does not make sense. And then you're then portraying as if this is the voice of God. When God has, like, I was just like, come on, no. You don't discourage people not to take the vaccine, claim that it has something to do with it, and just give them a whole bogus story. And you know that the people, the masses, like your church members are going to listen to you. I think, like, if you do that as a pastor, I am so sorry. Like, I don't even know what to put you, like, that's evil. I'm going to say what it is.
I think he undermined the efforts of Nigeria's government at the time. He did undermine him and many likes like him. He did undermine it. Why there were some sane pastors as well who were saying, look, follow the science and go take this thing. Pastor Chris just went really bonkers. He went really nuts. And I was really shocked. I was like, I thought this guy went to one university in Nigeria, they said. I was really appalled at the way. Look, I was like counseling his members in London. Few of them, they would come to me. I became a counselor to them because they were so confused and stressed out. And I had to counsel them and said, follow the science. You live in this country. Don't be listening to that guy who lives in Lagos where he can do anything and nobody touches him. Let him come to London and be talking like that. We'll get him. But he obviously he will remain there.
I think he was fine in the end anyway in the UK. No?
Yeah, but that's nothing. Come on. If I have $1 billion, find me $1 million.
Love World TV was fine. I remember.
For misinformation.
I used to go to Christ Embassy. I'm actually from this. I was just trying not to laugh when you were talking. I was like,
sorry.
So with the information you have, with the information with us now from last week, do we still think the West is biased, or their tactics is right for them to have taken that line of action to protect their own people?
So I
feel, okay, part of me feels that because of these biases, South Africa would have been able to have the ability to mobilize you know, basically just channeling their energy and talents that they have, you know, to reducing the case and the death that we have. I just feel it's had a major impact. This whole bias that's happened. So part of me just kind of feels, yeah, the Western countries they're biased.
Okay, Nana.
I'm conflicted.
Oh, let me even join you.
No, honestly, I am so conflicted because
would be now because of that website you were on, the Twitter thing, because you're now thinking, I think they did the right thing. Right?
I am so yeah, honestly, I am conflicted. And honestly, I don't want to be like, I ride hard. Everybody knows. Like I ride hard. No, I ride hard for the continent. But sometimes, right, it's like you ride hard and then the things that you hear, you just be like,
like be embarrassed, like, come on.
And then I'm like, okay, I can't even defend this at this point. I can't defend this. I honestly cannot defend it. And just this week as well, my friend told me, my friend's in Nigeria at the moment, and she was talking about part of the reasons why Nigeria ended up on the red list. And it's because I'm finding quite a lot of Nigerians who traveled into the UK weren't vaccinated. Of course, they had vaccination passports to prove that they've been vaccinated, and they were hospitalized for COVID. And when the hospitals did their test, they were like, if you're vaccinated, your antibody count and the way that your body's reacting to the infection, it just didn't tally.
Yeah, because if you're vaccinated, and apparently it reduces the impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, and apparently they had quite a few cases like that, where people had vaccinated records, but when you look at what's happening with them in the hospital, then like they're clearly not vaccinated. And apparently they went back. So they tried to ask the Nigerian government to confirm whether these people had been vaccinated or not, and they had no records. They actually didn't go back with records.
These people that they have in a hospital, did they at least challenge them and ask them, where did they get this? They need to get the source.
Yeah,
they're not police, so they can't interrogate them all.
Like that, like the best you can do is that, because of course with the UK, like there's the record, they can check exactly who's been vaccinated. And if you say you took this batch and all of that, they can double check it. That's how they're, I mean, even just today, I read an article about the NHS workers who are being charged for giving out for providing fake vaccination records.
And they're all black. Are they black?
I know them. No. The names on there.
Are they black?
No.
Are they black / Nigerians?
Because they're making it worse now. Like
the names. No. Today the names on there, they're all English sounding names. Okay. Yes, but there are NHS workers who are currently being prosecuted for giving out fake vaccination records.
So you see, like I said earlier, there's corruption. There's corruption everywhere. Every system, you can break them. There's corruption. The human being is inherently corrupt, but systems then put checks and balances to check this
in place.
We know our systems back home don't have this. Ghana,
this is an issue.
I ride hard for Africa, like Nana said, but I also critique very hard, especially as starting from myself. Ghana, I've always praised. South Africa is on a different level because they've had intelligence and have this all this technology they're on a different ball game in Africa. But Ghana, in the West African coast, they've really impressed me over years. I know this is off point, but I'll quickly chip it in. There was something they did at their airport when the immigration implemented where you use your electronic passport to get through the barriers. Mm-hmm. And the minister demonstrated it. He asked a white lady or a white man, I can't remember, he said, take my passport, go through this barrier. The woman went through. Then he said, now, scan your iris, just the way we do it here. Go through. And the thing locked her in and said, you see, you can't come into Ghana with another person's passport. I was like, just that simple policy would have checked out a lot of corruption, stop immigration officers from collecting money. Yeah. But their bigger neighbor, Nigeria, still have immigration officers saying, put something there, put something there, put something on that. You know, 5 minutes now, I never chop. I'm not joking.
I never chop too.
A lady I know said they almost wanted her to pull off her pants. It was as if the woman was saying, if you pull off your pants, give me self, I go take an abroad from con you get.
I'm not surprised.
Imagine that.
I'm
So that
surprised.
and you think we have the
wow.
British embassy in Nigeria. We have the ambassador, I've forgotten her name, who's very active in Nigeria, always in the circles of so-called Nigerian elite and socialites, those ones who don't have anything in their head. This woman and her team, they see all of these things that happens in Nigeria, and they feed back to the home government. They do feedback and say, this is not good. They feed back, and Nigerians think it's just okay for you challenge it. They say, man, what are you? What planet are you from? And it's little things like this when you don't challenge them that leads to this. Yeah, we have a disease decimating the population of the earth, and yeah, you have a people saying, "No, man, we can forge this, forge that." To what end? I ask.
Yeah.
And now, majority of Nigerians who not supposed to be suffering this are now suffering the impact of the whole actions. Look, the government will not suffer this. If Buhari and his family came into England today, they could pay off that money. Buhari will not quarantine in a hotel. He's got a big house that paid by Nigerian taxpayers. He will quarantine there.
Speaking about the quarantines, the one quarantine now, we've been seeing the social media, seeing how they complain about their food and stuff. So what they're paying for is not what they're getting.
I think they deserve it. You know why I said they deserve it?
I have seen that. I have seen that.
I think a lot of them deserve it.
Why would you say
Why
that?
do you say that, Jude?
It goes back to the principle of beggars have no choice, mate.
But
look,
come on, Jude.
Nigerians.
No, Jude.
Go on.
Jude.
Go on.
Oh, come on.
Let me ask me to explain. Ask me to explain more.
Okay, explain before I challenge you. Explain, please, because
you see the American, yeah. When they're anywhere and they're in trouble, you start hearing them say, "I'm an American. I'm an American," because they know the full might of the government will be behind them. Yes or no?
Yes, I agree.
That's the same thing with the UK citizen. That's the same thing with European citizens. Yeah. Oh boy, they scream in Lebanon, I'm British, I'm British. They're separated immediately. Help is coming. And the African continent, when you scream Nigeria, you get clubbed. You get where I'm coming from. You say, I'm a Nigerian, they beat you more. I'm Nigerian. Your ambassador say he's not. He might look like us. I think he's Ghanaian. What I'm trying to say is this. I'm not saying those people deserve it as a bad voodoo to them or a bad karma. I'm saying because there's nobody to stand up for them, to say, look at what our people are going through in your so-called hotels. Nobody will stand up for them, not the Nigerians. If that was German citizens, the German government will be asking questions. What do you call this? There'll be that diplomatic channels. The doors will be open for them to have that conversation. But nobody's having this with Nigerians. So again, it's almost like they deserve it because we elected those people. It's our country. We don't deserve
it. Regardless, we don't deserve it.
Okay. That's just my opinion.
We don't deserve it.
That's just my opinion. Because I tell you, if you went to Poland or you went to France and they were maltreating you, the first sentences that will come out of your mouth, I'm pretty sure you'll be screaming, I'm British.
Well, I'm from the Netherlands. You gotta.
No, I'm saying if you were British, you would be, yeah. So it will be, I'm British. Why do you say that? Because you know the full might of your government will be behind you, of Her Majesty's government. The Nigeria will.
I said Nigeria. Omadioha will kill all of you. You cannot touch me. I'm the African.
Omadioha. I like Amadia. Which technology is that? Which technology is that? You can't even fight Omicron. Oh my God. Anyway, if you're just joining us, we're just having a very light moment. We're not here to start blaming one government or another. We're just trying to have a light moment of the whole situation that's been happening in the world. Yeah, we can laugh about it, and there are times for us to be sober as well because it is really serious.
Yeah.
And again, looking at some statistics today, the Omicron variant is high in Greenwich area of London, it's high in Newham, it's high in places like Southwark. And one thing just kept coming through my mind. What the majority of immigrants in Greenwich, Nigerians? What the majority of immigrants in Southwark, Nigerians? In Newham, is shared between Nigerians and Asians. So again, these three areas are highly populated by Black and other minority people. And this paints a picture, whether it's real or not. I'm not a statistician who took that, but this begins to paint a picture for the home government. And they're saying, look, we're getting all of this in Greenwich. And they said, Westminster is a list. Chelsea and Kensington are very small. And if you look at those areas, you don't really have the immigrants like our people living in those areas. Now you begin to see a picture that's been painted like, you know what? Exactly, there's a pattern.
Yeah, but then isn't that also linked to do with like poverty rates as well? Because as much as we don't
Come
like
again?
to talk about
what did you say?
It's to do with poverty rates as well. As much as we don't like to talk about it,
it's all linked to that. It's all linked to that.
As much as we don't like to talk about it, when you statistically, our people are or tend to be in like low income earning homes and families and areas.
Yeah.
So, and that seems to play like a very, very big role in how like COVID transmission seems to. I don't know why.
Man. No, it is true. Because at the end of the day, I just told you Westminster and Chelsea were very low.
Yeah.
Who live there? These are affluent areas.
Affluent areas, exactly. And on top, so like it's very, very, especially let's say if I get COVID and I'm living in a house where I'm sorry, there's maybe I live in a 2-3 bedroom house and there's about 6 of us in that house. If I catch COVID now, the likelihood of it spreading to everybody else in that it all plays a part. Yeah, it's quite high.
Because you don't have the luxury of a bigger house where you could say, I'm going to self-isolate in my room and bring everything for me. You don't have it.
Exactly.
The rich people do have that. Yeah. Yeah. So these are the aftermaths and these are the implications of these decisions that our policies the government puts in place. But these are like I call these things a long COVID. I know they call long COVID the aftermath of the disease in your body, but this is what I call long COVID because people then suffer. You then get higher numbers because I live with my family. We don't have any rooms. Because my wife, if I had COVID now, she ain't going to ask me to go sleep in the garden because it's hot. No. It's cold there. Where do I go? So she'll be forced to share the house with me, or I'll be forced to say, you know what? Let me pay for a luxury hotel for you guys to go for 2 weeks while I remain here and take care of myself. We don't have that luxury. So I guess what you're saying, the cycle of poverty is there, housing issue is there, transportation is there. These are overcrowded areas, poor supermarkets for people to get decent food. Government forget about these areas. There's all of that. But the standpoint, though, is the pattern that we're trying to paint. These areas, people coming from Nigeria, Nigerians live in these areas mostly. Sodok, we're talking about Peckham. You're talking about New Cross. You're talking about Greenwich. You're talking about Abbeywood. You're talking about Thamesmead, Plumstead. You have a lot of minority people here. So that paints a picture. And that feeds into the whole national discourse and hence their policy to put nations like that on the red list.
It sort of confirms it for them then.
Yeah, it paints a picture. If Nigeria starts painting that picture too and say, hang on, BA flight came into the country today, 40 of them. And since then, we've had a spike in this variant. Then Nigeria will begin to say, this is how we arrived at our policy.
Yeah.
The flights came yesterday and we've had 400 spike. So it must be from your country. Then you have an argument. If you don't have that, your retaliation becomes tit for tat or knee-jerk responses.
Let's go back to Nigeria and help them gather this evidence.
Good luck with that, man.
Do they want to do that? Because I think that's what Jude said is actually very important because one thing I will say that I will applaud Ghana is that when the Ghana Health Service released on the 9th of December that only vaccinated travelers will be allowed into the country. One thing they did use is the statistics of the people that have been coming into like Kotoka Airport, that's like the main airport. And what they did say is that 75% of the people that were testing positive at the airport were unvaccinated. Which is why they were put in place the vaccination. The need for all travelers to be vaccinated. Because from their data of who, because when you land to Ghana, you have to take a test. From their data of the people that they were testing at the airport, they were like, this is what's happening. So based off of that, this is why we're basically setting this policy. And we're saying that you have to be vaccinated to come into the country. But I guess maybe Nigeria could also start doing that. I mean, I think they just have to.
Well, I hope they do. I just hope that they don't put Ghana into the red list because anything Nigeria touch, please, Ghana should not enter red list, please.
I think Ghana is able to protect itself from that. They have systems in place.
And one thing I will say is that when people always forget this is that Ghana is very very small in comparison to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the whole country is probably like a state, which is what I keep telling people.
Yeah.
So like, I think that with considering how populous Nigeria is, it's in their best interest to perhaps take a step back and actually start collating data on their on the figures. They have to do it. I know that it's going to be tasked.
It's going to be hard. And
it's going to be difficult.
This data, it might be even altered before
but
it gets
you know what I know, but at least but at least you have something. Even if it accounts for like I don't know, even if it accounts for like state by state, at least you have something. Because I think what it comes down to is that in order for the West to take you seriously, you need to have data. And if you do not have data and you cannot back up what you're saying, they're not interested in having a discourse with you. So if they come and they ask you, can we have your data of the people that are vaccinated in your state, and you can't provide that, that's it, unfortunately. They're not taking you seriously.
Yeah. You're right.
And from my perspective, I think that's quite an easy thing to do. It's not that difficult, even if it's to get Excel spreadsheet. Come on.
The thing is, even if now the facility is there, they have the money, the budget, it's now the people who are, they definitely will maybe try to take more cuts or not even pay people the right amount of money to even do this research. I'm sure the money is there.
I don't know.
No, the money is there, and the knowledge is there, the know-how.
Knowledge is there.
We're
brilliant people. Intelligent people.
But what's the gain for them? For most of the people in charge of these things, what is the gain for them? So they don't really want to be transparent about that.
Yeah.
When the whole COVID started in Nigeria, I followed the daily reports of Sanwo-Olu. I don't know if you know who Sanwo-Olu is now. Of Lagos State.
The Lagos State, yeah, I know. Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah, he's the person I call him Pointus Pilot, because he's always doing his fingers like that. I thought, okay, that's your nickname, Pointus Pilot. Well, I thought him and his team, oh my gosh, whether they were just putting up faces for the camera, I don't know. Nobody's told me otherwise, but they were fantastic. I thought the approach was even better than UK. These guys were doing daily briefings. These guys were visiting places. These guys were collecting data. I thought my Lagos to the world, man, I was praising him. I did a couple of videos praising him. I said, wow, I like this. It's going to make people take us serious. And all of a sudden,
what happened?
I don't know what they did with all of that data. It just fell apart. Look, I'll tell you a personal story. I was just in this Facebook, WhatsApp chat, and all of a sudden messages came through and said, we need to support this lady. She's going to have a surgery. She's been screaming her belly. She's got this pain in her belly. Less than 40 minutes, the same WhatsApp group, we're all scrambling, sending money to the account they asked us to send money to. They're saying, sorry, that money is going to be used to bury her and give the rest to her family. Like, what happened? She took herself to the hospital. It was a burst of appendicitis. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
No, that's not the story now. Now, this woman had other morbidities, other issues, other underlying health factors. Like she had diabetes, high blood pressure. They didn't check all of that in this little clinic, not far from where she lived, one of the southwest states in Nigeria. And she died at a table where they were doing the surgery. And after that, what they did, they just called the family, come take your daughter's body. And the mother, very aged woman, she challenged them. And you know what? That was the first time we knew something was wrong in Nigeria with regards to their protocol, the COVID protocol. The hospital told the mother, if you don't take your daughter out of here now, and if you try to report it, we're going to write COVID as a result of the COVID as the reason why she died. And then there was this story going on that if you had COVID on your certificate, that means the government will take your body off and go dispose you or bury you in their own way. So they panicked. And I'm not joking, because they sent us the pictures. This woman's dead body, bloody, was put in the back of a taxi, old rickety taxi, and they drove her home. My gosh, I was in that group.
That is so callous. No,
this is not yesterday. So that's when we knew. And the story started coming that Lagos hospitals, people are just dying. They're saying COVID. And my old younger brother too. They put COVID in the same COVID. Yeah.
How convenient.
I can't fight them. I'm fighting them with lawyers. I still can. So tell me, the ordinary person, how on earth those people are going to fight? So the policies affect the ordinary Nigerians. Don't affect the elite. So that was when at the height of COVID. That's when I knew that Nigeria, you cannot be trusted as a nation. Lagos was doing well.
Just so misplaced.
Yeah, Lagos was doing well by itself. But Lagos can carry the whole country.
which is what I was saying, that I like last week when I was saying that I honestly find it hard to defend it when it's like there are reports that you're inflating your COVID figures so you can get funded. And honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, like, if this is what you're doing, if I was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, I am not interested. Of course not.
No.
I'm putting you on every list I can, because clearly you don't even care about the well-being of your people. So why should I?
Thank you. That's the key. That's
So
the key
now,
word.
Nana, you feel that they're not biased with this your statement?
Here's the thing, right? They're biased, yes, but with the evidence on ground, they have every right to be biased. This is basically what I'm saying. And this is what I've reached to. This is basically the decision that I've reached, because the things that I'm here, I'm just like, I can't defend this, unfortunately. And sometimes you just have to call a spade a spade.
Yeah, I call a spoon a spoon. Israel has placed us on the red list. When I say us, I mean Britain.
Which absolutely makes sense, because our cases are horrendous.
But you don't see people. You don't see the British people on the streets protesting and shouting. Why did you do that? But Israel it's one of our favorite destinations. Go on.
Yeah, because they understand and they know that really at the height of the pandemic, the UK mismanaged. They did not deal with COVID at all.
Thank you. This is exactly what I was saying.
And we all sat here and critiqued the UK government for their failure, for not acting early enough. We all critiqued Boris Johnson because he was on holiday and he didn't go. I
said that last week, if you remember. Yeah,
we did a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting.
So the ban, this travel ban now is the right thing.
Honestly, it might not be the right thing, but what I will say is that with the information that they have, like, it's well founded. That's what I'm gonna say.
It is because, like you rightly pointed out, Nana. Yeah. We all knew how it was mismanaged. Boris Johnson and his government were really smart. Like you have acted earlier, and it indirectly affected Israel. And Israel said, "We're placing you on red list." And I'm like, Nigerians, I hope you watch that space, because Israel will tell you why they're doing it. It's the same reasons Britain is treating you the way they're treating you. So there's no need screaming, "Oh yeah, he's vaccine. There's vaccine this, or you guys are this. You're biased." No.
And even to think about it, America banned us for how long?
Exactly.
How long did America
for a very long
UK
time?
For?
Yeah, for a long time.
And what? It was literally like the two powers, the British powers and America, and we just accepted it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We still allowed we still allowed Americans into our country, but they banned us.
Yeah. Nations all over, especially in Europe, they knew how it hit them so hard the last time. Italy, Austria, Germany. And what Germany is doing, I could interpret it as very draconian. And when Austria put some restrictions last week, I immediately called my friend who was there, because I lived in Austria for some months. I stayed in Austria for some months a while ago. And I called my friends there and like, what is happening? How are you guys going to cope? And he said, it's not the way you're saying it, Jude. Media is just overblowing the thing. He said, but there are restrictions for those who are not vaccinated yet. There is that check. So the rest of us are free to go about our business. I'm like, still, it creates a two-tier citizens. He said, but that's what it is. It is what it is. Two-tier or not two-tier. This is what they're saying is in play. But it's not as they're reporting it. Then Italy, I've got loads of people there, Nigerians are there. I read an article saying, now they're stopping you. If you're not vaccinated, you won't use public transport. So I thought it was a lie, and there was videos, and I asked, and they said yes. And the citizens say, I think we really need it because of what happened the last time. It's like people just went back to normal and saying, we don't care. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, these are societies that have got proper infrastructure. They've got proper healthcare compared to where we come from, Africa. And we don't have that. And we're just doing laissez-faire. We're just going blase about the whole situation. So I don't think it should be a tit-for-tat response. I like the political angle of tit-for-tat and knee-jerk responses. I like that. We need to stand up and say, "Hey, Britain, who do you think you are?"
But this is not the right time.
No, but it has to be. No, it has to be well founded, and I think that's just what it comes down to.
Yeah,
it has to be well founded.
Yeah. I think we're about to wrap up. If you're just joining us, we're just like having a banter, a light moment about the whole situation.
I
Look,
have a question.
great, go
So
on.
for people that had COVID and recovering, is it true that they are allowed to, for 6 months, they can travel freely because they've already had COVID? So for 6 months, you may not need to be vaccinated until after 6 months. Is that true?
I don't know.
I thought that what I've been hearing from, I guess, from the press is that because Omicron is highly transmissible. So what they're saying is that, and it has really high reinfection rates.
Yeah.
So they're still pushing people to, like, I don't think with Omicron you can rely on your natural immunity,
Okay.
which is what I've been reading.
Right.
I'll tell you, speak to your health consultant, speak to your GP.
Yeah, but definitely speak to, yeah. But that's basically what they're saying. That Omicron has really high reinfection rates. And like I know somebody who's now had COVID twice. So yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And he still hit them the same time, like as in
no.
The
They're vaccinated now.
Okay.
So they're vaccinated now. So it's just like now they feel like they just have a flu. So just sneezing and all of that. So it's not as bad as it was the first time when they had it.
Okay.
So I was just checking the news to see if there were any updates, but there's nothing more than Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson telling us we're not going to go into lockdown yet. Boris Johnson telling us we need to get boosted, and the alert level has been raised to level 4, I suppose, due to the Omicron tidal wave. And it's what Nana stated earlier, because it's highly transmissible and there's a high reinfection rate amongst both those who are vaccinated and those who haven't had their vaccines yet. And it's asked the military to get on board to support the project. So so that's where we are. I think I would advise people to seek your doctor's opinion on this, both here in the UK, all over the world, in Nigeria. Seek medical experts. Don't be listening to lunatics they call pastors these days, or some 2-bit guy who's got a mobile phone, Samsung or iPhone or Huawei phone, to be putting things there and talking about things they don't even know anything about. The scientists are not claiming they know everything. Scientists are working day in, day out to find a better solution to save humanity. If you don't trust the science, then that's your own headache, it's your own cup of tea. I'm not here to advise you against vaccine or for vaccines. We're not here to do that. I've had my vaccines. I'm going for my booster. I'm only delaying my booster because it's Christmas, man. I'm stressed out about money now to take care of I've got family to take care of. So booster ain't on my agenda. But if the army came to my door and said, you need to move, I'm like, give it now, give it to me. Let me be. We might be in a world where we have to have a booster every other 6 months. We don't know. We don't see into the future. We know now. So go on, Sandra, you were going to say?
So do you think at some point we might have to start paying to be vaccinated?
Exactly. I was going to go there. Fantastic question.
We will. I don't want to say anything, but
fantastic. That's why I'm telling people to please go take the vaccines that the government is saying. Take it. It's like candy. Accept these candies.
Take it now, because
take your candy, because they will be selling these things, man. They will be selling these things. I know, because it's not in the hands of government. These companies who are making them, they need to milk it. If I had money, I'll be buying shares anyway. I'm not asking you to go buy shares, but I'll be buying. But you see, viewers, from last week, we had Nana and Sandra hard on the UK being biased. But with the new information we had.
That was not me last week.
Were you went hard on it?
That was my sister. You know, I'm twin. It was not me.
I get you.
Do you know what? I'm going to say, when you get new information, there's nothing wrong with reassessing your position and changing that.
It's true.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I did.
Stuff. Exactly. Stuff. Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's what I try to do. I receive new information. I reassess the whole situation. I don't get stuck in one place. So I'm not a tree stump. I can move. That's what I keep telling people. Yeah. So and I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. So you can see one point Sandra was conflicted, or Nana was conflicted, but I think they're saying with the information they have, they think whatever policies that the British government took is well-founded. Israel has placed us on red lists. We're not coming out protesting and screaming, because I know the Nigerian Students Association went out. I don't know who asked them to do it. I don't think it will hold water. Nobody will listen anyway. But hey, we're not out on the streets. I just read it on the news. Israel's placed us on red list. I say, oh, yeah, we go. That's it. I'll go have my cup of tea. No stones unturned. is what it is. Nana's having her own cup of tea. So
I'm having mine.
I'm trying to drag it, but we have to still call it a day. But
That's
because
call it a
it's the
day.
finale, I was hoping we'll just continue till tomorrow. But hey ho, any good thing also has its end. And we will see you again in the new year. Please hit that subscribe button. And apologies for my voice. I've had a bit of a sore throat the past couple of days, you know. Nana, Sandra, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. See you in the new year. But Nana and Sandra, please, you have any words for our viewers until we see them again in New Year?
Just stay safe. Stay safe. Enjoy your Christmas. And God bless you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm definitely
Good.
echoing
We didn't get our part. Yeah, go on.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Honestly, enjoy your break and yes, enjoy it as much as you can. This time last year, we're in lockdown. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Touch wood.
Yeah.
Please don't even jinx
it. If anyone in Nigeria who's planning to come, or any of you who are in the quarantine centers, the hotels, and they're giving you miserable food, if you know me, please, if you have my number, or you can reach us on these platforms, reach out. I can bring rice and jollof rice and fufu for you. Trust me. Yes. Any one of you who have been placed in these miserable conditions where you're having to have a packet of crisps and some 2 beef sandwich, they won't even give to a horse. Please reach out to us.
This is why people eat. That's their food. That's why. Yeah,
please.
That's what we eat.
Please reach out to us on our platforms on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. Reach out to us. Reach out to me personally, Jude Speaks. I'm telling you, we'll bring jollof rice. So we'll bring the whole jollof rice, the whole shebang. Trust me.
Jude will bring the jollof rice.
I'll bring it. I'll leave it at the door. I'll leave it at the door of your hotel. You can have it. We need to make your Christmas. I'm not joking. It's not a joke. We're serious about this. So if you know someone who's there, if you don't have any family members, please, or friends, reach out to This Is Us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Just put a comment there. We'll check it and we'll get back to you anywhere you are in the UK. Thank you very much, viewers. It's a wrap. And we'll see you in the new year. Bye-bye.
See you in the new year.
Merry Christmas. Bye.